Baby, you the one I live for. Mommy's by your side till the end and through whatever. Yeah, this is our journey together. You're special cause you're different. Never let them tell you different. Yeah, you can rely on my love for forever. You and I against the world, against the world, yeah, against the whole world.
Welcome back to my channel, you guys. I haven't seen you guys in such a long time, like legit. You know, once I started the Mother Autism Mom series, you know, I was uploading that, and then that was actually recorded in like April. So I've been really backed up on my recordings, you guys, but please forgive me. It's been really hectic, and as you could tell, like I'm like all over the place. I haven't even got my hair dyed, and I have to get my fill done. Like I literally been all over the place. But welcome back to my channel, and if you guys haven't subscribed, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe on my videos. I've been getting a lot of messages from people that I don't know that are new and have followed me all the way to my Instagram, sending me DMs, and I truly appreciate your guys's messages. It makes me feel really good that some of my videos are actually really helping you guys out. The IHSS video has been one of the main ones, the eloping. So I'm really excited and I'm really happy because it's like I'm helping others, you know, so that really brings a lot of joy to me. It makes me feel really good because this is one of the main reasons why I'm doing YouTube, is to help you guys. So given that happened, whew, I feel like I've lost my breath. But right now I'm currently outside Jayden's occupational therapy center. He has speech right after, so I'm like, you know what, let's do another video, and I want to talk to you guys about what's been happening. Okay, well, today's topic, if you guys know by the title of this video, is going to be about seizures. Jayden just did have a seizure, I want to say like 3 weeks ago. He had this seizure, and every seizure he's had, it's been really different. It's been a really tough road with seizures because they're scary. They are very scary, and I'm to the point where like it gets traumatizing, you know. It gets very traumatizing, but now I'm at the point where I could see the signs of when he's gonna have it, and it took me a good 3 seizures to know, because Jayden's had his 3rd seizure. Jayden's currently 4 years old, so he's had a seizure literally every year. So he had one at 2 years old, 3 years old, and 4 years old. So he's had one every year after 2. They're normally around the same time. Really crazy. The first seizure was a day before Mother's Day. The second seizure was around December, and then the 3rd seizure was just 3 weeks ago. So if you see it, it's only like maybe 2 months away from the same time. But the 3 seizures were very different. The first one, what was happening was I was taking Jayden a bath, and Jayden loves swimming because, you know, I started putting him into swimming lessons. He knows how to swim underwater. So then he's the type of kid that he loves going back, like laying on his on his back and putting his ears underwater, and he can hear himself, whether he's going or talking, he's hearing himself underwater, and he loves it. For some reason, he just loves that. So then that night, me and my boyfriend, we were in the restroom, we were talking as he was taking a bath, and then I saw him and something was off, like something was really off, and I was like, he wasn't moving, he was just staring at me, and he gave me some look like, and I told Carlos to take him out, like to hurry up and take him out. So he grabbed him, and when he grabbed him, he was shaking, like legit, he was shaking. And then we put him on the floor. I started giving him CPR. The reason why I started giving him CPR was because I feel like when I was giving him CPR, I was taking some fluid out. I think because he was laying on his back and obviously the water was going inside his ear, I think he had water in him. So I was legit giving him CPR. He was turning purple on me. He wasn't breathing, and that's what made me like, I have to do something. It was very traumatizing. My sister at that time, she was still pregnant with my nephew, and she was downstairs and she was just hearing like the screams, and Carlos was like, I'm gonna call your mom. I'm like, my mom and his mom, and I was like, no, you gotta call 911. So he called 911 and the paramedics came. His seizure looked like he was just shaking that time. And mostly I was taking the fluid out of him, and once I did take the fluid out of him and he had stopped turning purple on me, he started to breathe. And that's when the paramedics came and they took him. And before this happened, you guys, Jayden did develop a fever out of nowhere. But he was good during the whole entire like morning. By the afternoon, he had a fever, spiked up really bad. So we're like, you know what, I'm gonna give him some Tylenol, I'm gonna put him in the bath and try to lower his fever. And that's what we were doing. And I don't know what happened, that he still seized in the bathtub. So then at that time we went to the hospital and they told me like, oh, he had a febrile seizure. And I was like, okay. They're like, it's normal. And I'm like, I don't care how normal it is. This is not normal. This is not something that I want to go through. This is terrifying. This was the day before Mother's Day, the first seizure I've ever encountered with Jayden. And I have to admit, it was very traumatizing. It took a toll out of me. And it was so hard, you guys. Like, just to see your child just like shaking and you can't do anything about it. It was so difficult because you're like, what's going on? Like, I have no control over my child. He's not responding, he's not moving, and you automatically think like, oh my god, you know. And my sister, when my sister was pregnant at that time, she heard the scream, she ran upstairs and she tried to help me. Take note, she was in the shower, so she literally grabbed a towel, she wrapped it around herself, and she ran upstairs. Now, if you know where I live, please don't say nothing, but my stairs are outside the house because it's a duplex. So my stairs are outside the house. So she literally went outside with a robe, pregnant, trying to help me, you know. And I'm pretty sure she flashed a lot of people when the paramedics came because she was busy trying to help me. But you know, she was there for me, and I really appreciated that because in a way, like, I needed someone there, you know. And Carlos was doing the whole phone call, and I thank him too, because like I would have lost my shit, you know, like trying to do the phone call and trying to get, you know, Jayden to respond. It would have been really hard for me. So things happen for a reason. His second seizure, once again, fever out of nowhere. You guys, it spikes up to like 103 out of nowhere. No signs of infection, no signs of him even sick. Out of nowhere, he gets a seizure towards the end of the night. So he'll get a fever like during the morning, I mean during the afternoon, and then by the nighttime comes, he's seizing. So I was like, what the heck? Like, are you serious? At that time it was scary because he was, I think I had just took him out of the shower, and out of nowhere, like, he started shaking again, but this time foam started coming out of his mouth. And I remember looking into it, and they said you have to time it because if it's more than 5 minutes, like, it's really bad. It could damage the brain. I think 5 or 3 minutes, you could damage the brain. It could do some damage up here. And I remember them saying like, how long does it take and all that. They also say that when someone sees you, it might look like they're not breathing, but they really are. So you just gotta let them like pretty much go through the episode by themselves. So at that time I did, and we still went to the hospital. They took they monitored him, make sure he was okay. Towards the end, like, they're like, okay, well, he's good to go home now. So then I went home, and I remember putting him to bed, and then out of nowhere he was asleep, and then he got up, and then he had like this blank stare, you guys. He was just staring at me, and I'm like, Jayden, and like trying to snap him out of it, you guys. He was literally like out of it, and then it took me a while, and then he went back. So then I realized, and started doing more research. I realized that those are like silent spells. Like, you could have like a silent seizure, and they usually occur like the seizure after that, like, it happens. So I was like, okay, well then maybe it's that. And then I was at that moment, the second seizure, I was like, you know what, I have to go see a neurologist. We started going to see a neurologist, and then we went through my whole entire like pregnancy, and they also did a confirmation that he has autism. They reconfirmed his diagnosis. And then what ended up happening was, we were talking about how Jayden, when he was a toddler, and when he was a toddler in the high chair, Jayden used to have like blank stares. And I always thought, like, you know what, it's probably because he's just gazing off, he's just wandering, he's just gazing away, he's just like in La La Land, or, you know, he's just staring off. And I didn't know that he could be having silent seizures when he was a baby. And all this time I thought he was just like, you know, he's just probably really thinking about something, or, you know, like. So then I was like, man, like, all this time he could have been having them, and I didn't even notice that. So then we decided to do an MRI, and we decided to do a EEG or a EKG. I forgot what it's called, but it's the thing that they put on your head, and it's like wires. We tried for 3 hours, you guys, this year, and it was horrible. It was horrible. It was bad. He did not let himself. It's the one where like you're supposed to be asleep, and they're supposed to do like the sound waves of your brain or whatnot, something like that. Well, make a long story short, it was bad. We were there for 3 hours. It didn't work. So now what's going on is, like, we're on the waiting list for the MRI for the for a hospital to do it, and Loma Linda is actually going to perform it, so we're still waiting on that. But they're actually going to have to put him to sleep. So that's where we're at right now. And then his last seizure was 3 weeks ago. Once again, he got a fever out of nowhere. He looked really tired, you guys. Like, he was just on the couch, just not being himself. And I'm like, he slept good. What's going on, you know? And I started realizing that he had a fever. And I was like, oh, I knew, you guys. I was like, he's gonna have a seizure. I was like, he's gonna have a seizure right now. Like, something in me was like, something's gonna happen. Like, he's having the fever again. It's really high. He doesn't look good. He looks like tired. He doesn't want to do anything. He looks lazy. He knows it's coming. Like, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go lay him down on the bed. And I did. And it got to the point, you guys, that I even posted it on Facebook, like, he's showing signs of him having a seizure soon. Please pray for us, because Lord knows, like, I'm getting anxiety just thinking about it, that he's gonna have one again. And I kid you guys not, 5 minutes after I posted that, he ended up having the seizure. But it was so crazy, because I was by him and I got my watch, like my clock from my phone, and I was looking at the time, and then I was like, it's 6:58. I was like, I have to keep track. I have to keep track of how long this seizure is gonna last. Like, I knew it. I absolutely knew it. And I had the phone, and I was like, okay. And I kept looking at him, and then when I looked the second time, and then I looked at him again, he started seizing. And then I called Carlos. I'm like, he's having a seizure again. And then I grabbed him, and then in a way. I wanted my mom to see this because I wanted her to understand, like, and see what everybody goes through. Like, one thing is us talking about it, and another thing is actually being there, you know. And if there was one person that didn't or haven't seen it and she was close by to me, was my mom. So I called her and I'm like, he's having a seizure. I knew exactly what to do, and she was there helping me too. And I think the hardest thing, you guys, is during all these times that he's had the seizure, Ailani has witnessed it. You know, the first time she was really traumatized. The second time is like it's happening again, and the third time it was like she wasn't talking about it. And if you know Ailani, she's the type that she talks a lot. She's the type to ask so many questions. And that night, because we ended up taking Jayden to the hospital, she ended up spending the night at my sister's house. She was just absolutely quiet. She wouldn't talk about it. She didn't want to talk about it. You could tell she was sad. You could tell something had happened. And I think it's very hard, you know, because during that time that it was happening, she went to the living room and she tried to distract herself with the tablet. And for a little girl to see that and go distract themselves with a tablet, like that's sad, you know. That's very sad. Like, it's traumatizing for an adult like us, let alone a little kid, you know. So I think that's been one of the hardest things, is for her to experience it, and her and seeing it. And you know, she prays for her brother, and she's very like loving and tries to understand what's going on. And you know, she doesn't ask any more questions. And this time there was no foam coming out. His eyes just looked really weird. They were up, like they were like trying to go back. Like, it's so crazy. That didn't happen the last 2 times. He was turning a little purple, but not too purple like the first time. I think the first time, the reason why he turned really purple on me and he was really like blue, I think it's because water had gotten into him when he was in the bathtub. But this time, like, he went into the ambulance, and it was so weird, you guys, because his fever had gone up to almost 103. It was like 103 point something, and we were on our way over there. I was sitting next to the guy that's like literally performing everything on the ambulance, taking his I think his blood pressure and all that, his sugar level, like stuff like that. And you guys, like, he could take his sugar level, like the pinch, and Jayden's literally knocked out. He can't react to it. Like, he doesn't react to it at all. It's like if he's numb, I would say like it's in a coma. Like, he can't move. He's just like dead weight on the bed. So I was talking to him and I was telling him, like, you know, he has autism, and explaining it to him, and I truly think things happen for a reason. He was talking to me and telling me that him and his wife have I think he said a 3-year-old, and they were going through the process of it too, like the whole autism, and that he was scared about seizures because he knows that it happens more with kids with autism. So, and I was just talking to him like, you know what, like, just get services, giving him advice. And I think he was going through that stage that we all go through, like, you're trying to understand that why can't your child be doing this and this and that. And you know, you could tell he was having a hard time with it. And I took that moment to try to like help him out, and I was like, hey, you know, like, here's my information, go give my information to your wife. If she ever needs someone to talk to, let her know. Here's my YouTube, like, you know. And it's amazing, you guys, how like me and him crossed paths like that, you know, and that I was able to give him some little input given the circumstances that we were in. I kid you not, once we were at the hospital, it took him like a good hour to snap out of it, maybe an hour and a half. Did some tests on him to see if he was sick, and everything came back negative. he didn't have a virus, he didn't have anything in him. So it was really weird, you guys, because you obviously think that you have a fever and you're fighting off a virus. I don't know what it was, but they did all these bunch of tests and everything came back negative. So that really was like, what? Then why is he having a fever? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So then fast forward a few days from there, Jayden started saying more things, you guys. Jayden started saying more words. I don't know what happened with this last seizure, that he's been saying a lot more sentences. Like, he wouldn't even say sentences before the seizure. It was so hard for him to say sentences, and then out of nowhere, like, he started talking more, and I'm like, are you serious? Like, I'm finding myself where, like, he's saying a sentence and I'm like, are you serious? It's amazing. Even his speech therapist, even, you know, during that time, his speech therapist was like, wow, he's talking a lot more. OT's like, he's saying more things. ABA is like, yeah, we see it too. Like, he's saying more things. Like, he's saying sentences. Just yesterday we were doing a puzzle with ABA. It was like 3 puzzles. I had a Lightning McQueen puzzle, he had another Lightning McQueen puzzle, and she had a Jackson Storm puzzle, and we were taking a race, making a race, like who could finish first. And it's so crazy because I don't think I ever thought I could play a game with him, because he wasn't the type to play games like that, like, oh, who could finish the puzzle first. So then I finished it and he's like, oh no, and he covered his face, you guys, and he went like this. And then I've never seen that. That was the first time I ever seen that. That was yesterday. And I want to say 3 days ago he started playing hide and go seek. He plays it by himself and he's pretty damn good too. It's so funny because he'll get a tablet and then he'll hide it, let's say, like under a pillow, and then he says, okay, it's time to go, it's time to find the tablet. And then he'll go into each room and he's like, not in here. He'll go into another room, not in here. And then he'll like go to different places. And he said, and then he'll go to the last place where he actually hit it. He'd be like, oh, there you are, I found you. And then he finds the tablet and rehides it again. And sometimes I even play around, like I'll take the tablet, I know where he hid it, and then he'll be like freaking out, like, hold on, like I put it here, what's going on, you know? So I try to like, where is it at, where did it go, you know? So I try to incorporate myself into playing with him. But I don't know what it is, you guys. Something clicked, I don't know, but this last seizure has like, I don't know what happened. I wish I could tell you guys like what's going on and like what it has made him talk, or I don't know what the heck happened, but he's just starting to talk more, you know? And he's starting to do things he normally wouldn't. He's starting to say things he normally doesn't. You know, before the seizure happened, it was more like mimicking. Okay, say bye, say bye. Say all done, all done. It was more mimicking, and now he's saying it out of his own self. Like he's saying things that are like even surprising me, and I'm like, what? Are you serious? You know? So if this has ever happened to you guys, or you see a difference after a seizure, or you know someone who has, please let me know, because I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm gonna have to see his neurologist again. We're gonna talk about it, we're gonna see what the heck is going on, and I don't know what it is, but this last seizure did affect him a lot, and I wanted to share this with you guys because in this journey we're not alone, and I'm not alone, and I feel like I owe it to you guys to let you guys know what's been going on. It's been really hard. I'm the type of person, I have thick skin. I'm very with my attitude, you'll never think that I'm like either depressed or I'm going through stuff or you know, but my physical definitely gets a hold of me. I start gaining weight, I stop taking care of myself, you know, like I just start eating things that I normally don't care for, and definitely like, you know, so definitely my emotions have been strong, and it's been very hard because it's like I'm legit now having a conversation with my son, and it's amazing, and you never think you would. And at least I honestly, I have to admit, I didn't think I was gonna have a conversation anytime soon, and I'm like, wow, like wow. Now he tells me, mommy, I love you, and he wasn't saying that, you know, like I would tell him I love you, and then but I love you, like, because he's like mimicking it, but never did it come out of him, you know. And it's the little things, you guys, that just mean so much for a parent that's going through this, you know. The first time you hear them say mom, or the first time you hear them say dad, is a big deal, because like you never think about it, you know. And I remember before the seizure, there was this song and we bumped it, we were putting it high, and it was the trailer song of Toy Story 4, and it was me and Carlos, we were in the car. This was way before the seizure. I want to say like probably even like a few weeks before the seizure, and we were bumping it. We're like, oh, you know, this is, he keeps rewinding the trailers, because if there's something that Jayden loves, is trailers. Rewinding the trailers. And then so we were bumping that song, and that song came on, and I kid you guys not, it was, he was singing it word by word, and me and him, we were just bawling. We're like, oh my god. And we still bump it, and he doesn't sing it anymore. It was only one time that he ever sang that song, and we keep trying to put it back on to see if he'll sing it, and never. So definitely, I know there's speech there, but I don't know what's going on. So if you guys have any insight or could tell me any input about this, I would truly appreciate it. Please share some of your guys' stories, or if you heard anything about this, like having a seizure and then automatically like improving so much afterwards. Please let me know. I will let you guys go because I have to go back inside and get Jayden. But thank you guys for watching. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Join me, and this is my journey, and you guys are not alone. Bye.
Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. This is our journey.
This is our
Take two.
This our journey.